What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome. Fresh week of hockey here and propping up on the Gold Boys Network, brought to you by Pickett and Boom Fantasy. GriffyBets, joined by Walla. We got a hell of a Monday slate here. These matchups are quite inviting, so I'm excited. How you doing, Walla? How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Had a good weekend. We were talking about it before the show. Um, would have been capped off real nicely with 4 shots from McKinnon. The guy let everybody down yesterday, but yeah, it's been all right. So this slate looks really nice. I'm excited to talk some hockey.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty open. We're always open about it, but last week, both of us have been in quite a rut here for most of March. I'm happy to report that I'm finally finding a little stability here. I've had 4 straight profitable nights, a couple big ones sprinkled in there. It's really been the same game parlay market for me. I was chatting about it with in Gold Boys yesterday, but when what was it? Probably 2 weeks from today, this opened, or maybe 3 weeks from today. I certainly just immediately started shooting for the moon with just some ridiculous parlays because I was so excited that it was back. That obviously did not work. So just drastically watered things down and just tried to find some simple correlated numbers. And it's working out. So I would be down for it to continue to work out. But that's been most of my approach. Just hop on Prospect Cash, find guys consistent at a number, 2 or 3. As long as they've hit against the opponent really and are hitting lately, it's a go for me, and it's been working out. So yeah, I'm feeling good last couple of days.
Yeah, hope we get all the games up again. They were doing it pretty early, and then till today it seemed a little slower. I know Florida game came up. I haven't checked if anything else has come up since then, but
Edmonton, Arizona was up as well. Put in
cool.
a couple for there. Yeah, I was getting. I still have this sinking feeling one day they're just going to pull this away from us again, and it's always scares me a little bit. But no, I'm
Yeah,
glad. I
no,
mean,
they're doing what they can by the lines. I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen it. A guy will be like, minus 145 to go over 2.5, and then in the same game parlay for 3 shots, he's like minus 300. So yeah, they're doing what they can to uh, not give us too much of an advantage. But hopefully they stick around for a while because yeah, it's been fun.
it is a good point. Again, we were talking about this before with McKinnon. These guys at 4, sometimes their prices are just ridiculous, and it's the studs that have these ridiculous prices to the point where maybe you just skip over adding them, even though they probably they're getting those many shots more often than not. The risk versus reward, McKinnon, what he ends with 3, he was probably minus 700 to get 4, which is silly when you contrast it with like even money to get 5 straight. Maybe sometimes you don't need to always add in the studs just because they're there.
Yep.
Some of the prices aren't bad, but yeah. All right. Why don't we just jump right in here? I mean, there's really only one game, Seattle, Minnesota, that I did not look at all. I don't know if you looked at that one, but I was much more excited about most of these other ones.
There's one trend that stuck out to me in that game that we could
All
talk
right.
about when we get there, or if you want me to just get it out of the way. What do you want me to do?
Sure. Get it out of the way.
All right. Well, so we've talked about McCann a lot, and I just wanted to bring up he has a when you look at his history against Minnesota, it doesn't look too great, but he's been solid lately, and in their recent games, the Wild have been letting up a ton of shots to left wings. So if you're a positional data kind of guy, um, and you don't mind that McCann has a kind of bad history against the Wild recently, that could be a decent angle there for a guy who's been steady lately. Getting the attempts and stuff. Uh, if you like the position stuff, that's a solid matchup there based on their recent numbers.
Yeah, that's a good flag. Should be a good scoreboard game with Seaman up there as well. Thought I'd note that. It kind of catches the eye. Anyway, Florida, Ottawa. Let's what are you seeing here? Because I'm seeing a whole bunch.
Everything. Yeah. Um, I think just like right off the bat, I was just excited to have Brady and Matt Kachuk going against each other. Um, Lock them in for a goal parlay together. Just it happened
Yes.
last time they played, but it's just a fun angle there, and they've both been pretty solid. I mean, it's not just a dart. Brady has been good at home, um, real solid at home, and Matt was hot for a little bit before last game. So they've both been scoring lately, and they're going to be brothers going against each other, trying to do one up the other guy. So that one seemed good to me. It was at plus like 349, I think, when I got it. I think it was already dropping, but that one should be fun. Two guys who are doing really well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had to play that. I remember it hit last time, and I remember thinking, why the hell did I not bet this? I'm an idiot. So won't make that mistake again. And yeah, I believe I saw, was this over under up at 7.5? Did it get
Oh, wow.
bumped up there? Is it still? Oh no, it's back down to 7. It was briefly 7.5. Um, Certainly expect high scoring game. I mean, the numbers high level certainly support that. I mean, Florida's scoring 3.8 on the road. Ottawa looks crazy nice for goals if you just go off averages. I mean, when you look at past history, it's definitely been Florida pouring on most of the goals between these two, but Ottawa's averaging almost 5 goals per game in their last 10 at home, and Florida's letting up 4.1. I don't know who's in net, but certainly a nice intersection you rarely see of over 4 goals for the two teams in those stats. So, yeah, I don't hate the over, but I had to go with the brothers. I mean, shots wise, I wouldn't hate laddering up Matthew either. He had 7 last time against Ottawa. Senators do still have that slight penalty issue. And Matthew has 17 power play shots in his last 9 games, which is just absurd. So knowing that some of those are coming, he's averaging almost 2 shots on the power play a game. So that certainly makes me feel good about him, getting 4+ shots for sure.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, this is if you like doing the lottos, this is a good target for that one, this game. Um, Few of these guys have been hitting that 4 shot mark, so that's the highest ladder in those same game parlays. So you can look at a few of the guys in this one for those shots. The Kachuk brothers, Montour has looked really great lately. He's 4 shots, 3 shots, and Batherson I really like in this one. I might use him, just in a regular play or something, not a lotto, but he looks really good to me. He's been really solid at home. Um, he can still get some shots on the power play and everything, and I just think there's going to be a lot of shots in this matchup. So a few of these guys I think you can look at today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Ottawa for shots at all. I mean, they're averaging 35 at home. I was initially a little hesitant because Florida on the road's actually been tightening up with the amount of shots they've been allowing, less than 29. And for whatever it's worth, obviously both of these teams have changed quite a bit, but their last 4 meetings dating back to last March, Ottawa has not gotten over 27 shots on goal in any of those games, which I just found a little interesting. But again, I mean, very different teams. But I wasn't loving Ottawa shots as much as, I don't know, not as much as Florida. So same game parlays I did. I was all Panthers for me.
Yeah, no, definitely more on the Panther side. I mean, they've got everybody who's shooting. Batherson just stuck out to me with his home chart. Um, Being
Oh
really,
yeah, it's
really
crazy.
solid. I His 2, if you use him at 2+ shots, that's just like solid, as solid as it gets for a leg. He's been great at that number.
Oh yeah.
Just in this one, he's been solid at home. I like him. I think he can get his in this game, even if they don't get a ton of shots. Overall, he's just been very reliable at home with his volume. But yeah, the Florida side, uh, it's hard to pick over there. I mean, Verhaeghe's just been rolling, uh, as consistent as they come for him. I think you could look at a lot of guys on that side and load up a same game parlay if that's your thing.
I will say the one um, watered down version on Ottawa I thought looked really good was Giroux at 2. He's got 2 in 23 of his last 26 games. And just looking at the last couple of years, which I forgot he was briefly on the Panthers. 3-5-3-5 his last 4 games against Florida, which would be with Philly, and 1 with Ottawa. He had 5 against them. I thought him at 2 looked really good. But yeah, I thought I did a simple same game parlay here of Verhaeghe, Matthew, and Barkov all getting 3. And then I did Reinhardt down at 2, who's been, automatic at 2. And he's hit 2 and 4 straight against Ottawa as well. So I did those 4, came in at plus 112. Nothing crazy. I might go back to this game and do, kind of a longer shot, because you just look at last game against Florida, had 58 shots last time we saw Ottawa, which is absurd.
Yeah.
And then last year, 30 shots, then 49 and 48 shots. So I'm sure a lot of Florida matchups, they're getting numbers those high, but that's a little ridiculous. So I'll probably take a longer shot here, but that was my safe combination.
Definitely. Those guys are real solid at the 3 line. And yeah, Reinhardt at 2 that's a real nice look for him. I don't like bumping him up to 3 as much anymore. So 2 looks really good.
But yeah, I thought both team totals looked pretty okay. So that probably means I should just take the over in some form. Maybe I move it down to 6.5 and pair it with something. It is over 7.5 on FanDuel right now, which is crazy. But yeah, I definitely like goals. I've been trying to do a little less like players to be involved in the points and the goals and just root on team goals. It's far more enjoyable, especially when it wins. But just to not really care who it is that got involved has been nice. So I'm going to do goals in some form there, whether it's the over or pick one of these teams team total.
Yeah, I think that looks really solid. Yeah, makes sense too. I know I've had a couple plays recently where there'd be a team scoring like 8 goals, and then the guy I have for a point somehow does not get involved in that.
Brutal.
So yeah, that you can look at the team total for that. Of course, yeah, knowing my luck, I'll pick like a team total, and then the one guy I like will score like the lone goal of the game or some shit. But it's been interesting lately. There's been a lot of those real high scoring games, and a couple staple guys are just somehow not involved in any of the scoring. It's been weird.
Yeah, what did that happen to you with Montreal on Friday? I think you had someone on
Yeah,
Montreal and they scored 8 goals.
yeah, and Velarde last night. I played him. He somehow wasn't involved in like a million Kings goals, but Arvidsson came through with shots, which was nice. I know the little chat I have going on. Everybody seemed to be consensus on that one, so played that, and that was just that was such a breeze. I wish somehow Velarde felt like it should have been a breeze, but nothing happened there.
Yeah, that was crazy onslaught by the Kings. The Blues made it interesting. Definitely. Yeah, I did a watered down version of Arvidsson, Kempe, and Iafalo, and they all scored in the first period. Damn, I guess I should have sprinkled on a little goals here. It all worked out, but that was
Yeah,
a little kind of a funny. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. I think these guys are going to get their 2 shots for me.
just wake up, they're all scoring.
All right.
Let's the next one.
Yeah, next one, I'm seeing Montreal Buffalo. Tage Thompson, I believe, is out,
Yep.
which is a bummer because I wanted to bet his goal. I don't hate the over here, even with Tage out. I would like to see actually how Buffalo has fared without him. But yeah, I initially liked goals on both sides and Buffalo shots. That was where my initial approach went. I don't know if there's any favorites you have.
I definitely think there's going to be goals in this one. I like Yeah, I think Skinner is going to be the popular play on Buffalo. Makes sense. Tage out, and it's been real solid at home. Good numbers versus Montreal. So I think he
Hmm.
could be looked at, at his 2.5 line. If you like the alts, maybe 4 because he's going to need to step up. But and then if you like to really play it safe, 2 has been insane at home. So he's probably going to be the main guy to look at on Buffalo here. And I do like their side better for shots, but on the opposite side, I think the guy who's been leading there has been Matheson, especially on the road, and another guy. If you drop him down to 2 shots, uh, looks really really steady. But he's had some nice games on the road, just shooting pretty consistently for them. So I saw on Barstool he had a little bit of a discounted price, but definitely a guy for those same game parlays. He could be brought down to 2. Looks real nice.
Oh yeah, yeah, so consistent. Do you know how Buffalo is against defensemen lately?
Wasn't as amazing as I'd hoped. I think it was around 9. According, shot props. If you're not looking at him on uh
Yeah.
Twitter or his site, he's got a lot of good information. I think it was around
Oh
9
yeah.
shots a
Yeah,
game.
right in the middle. But yeah, Matheson too. And his
He's
volume's
taking,
leading the team too.
but the 2
Yeah,
shots is beautiful.
I would definitely like Skinner 4+ straight. Yeah, obviously I'd be happy with his 3, in a same game parlay, but I mean last 3 games without Tage, he's got 7 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots, and and yeah, 4 shots or more in 4 straight against Montreal. So I'm all over that, assuming we get that opened up.
Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
his 2 and 3 look a-okay to me, especially at home. I don't really
Get that
hate his
4.
goal. I don't hate his goal either. I think I saw I know he gets a crap ton of points against Montreal. Yeah, I mean he's got 3 goals against them this year in 2 games. He had a 4-goal game against them last year. Definitely, yeah, I like his goal.
Yeah, they got
But
him down at plus 130 for goal, so they definitely, they're expecting him to get involved without that Tage here. So it's still good though. Good look if he's going to be shooting. If he gets 4 shots on goal, I definitely think one of those could go in. So hopefully we get that all line though. That's real interesting.
I thought same thing goes for Tuck, who's also, I mean, yeah, Tage has not missed a game in a while, so it's hard to I don't know how much stock I guess you can really put in this, but he's definitely stepped up last couple games without Tage last year. And he has some nice games against Montreal as well. So I thought Tuck looked good. I thought Dylan Cousins looked fine at 2 or 3, and I didn't hate Cousins' goal or point either. They were kind of
Is
all
he
catching
up
my
at the
eye.
top line?
I think it's Middlestat is taking Page's spot, and I believe he was plus 105 for a point, which is certainly a nice value.
Hmm.
I
He's
think
not a huge fan of him compared to Cousins there, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
not much. Let's see. I think that's all. Nick Suzuki is on absolute fire right now. He has 10 points in his last 4 games, 2+ in each of them, which is pretty ridiculous. Um, only 2 of them are on the power play. Interesting enough, I see a little power play edge here for Montreal. Some of their, I know you love your power play points sometimes, but I mean Mike Matheson, he's got 3 power play points his last 5 games. He's plus 300 for one tonight. Let me see why I wrote that down. Yeah, I mean last 20 days, Montreal's scoring at a 25% clip, definitely above average. And Buffalo's penalty kill 72%, which is
Yeah,
definitely a bottom 10, probably bottom 6, 7 mark. So I
that's a
like
solid
seeing that.
look. Matheson's been real involved, so that's a good one. Even his point minus 134, he's been really solid with the points lately. Um, I'm looking at Suzuki. Uh, a lot of assists. So that could be he's at plus money for an assist. That's where a lot of these are coming from. That could be a pivot away from the point if it's too juiced or something.
But yeah, I mean, Montreal's been surprisingly feisty for a couple of weeks now. They're definitely scoring goals. And Buffalo is letting up 5.1 in the last 10 at home. So I I didn't hate the Canadians down at 2.5. I think it was like I want to say minus 145 for them to go over 2.5, including overtime, which I was kind of liking maybe as a parlay leg, especially with Tage out. I'm almost more inclined to maybe just focus on that end instead of trusting a ton of goals on the Buffalo side. So I may do something there, maybe pair it with Florida to get some goals, or I mean, Colorado and Arizona Edmonton game all look good too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
But
that angle.
I think they're going to score.
Again, if you don't want to search for a specific guy to get a point on Montreal, that could be the way to go. You know, like I said, there's been some rough beats lately with that. One of them was that guy in Montreal. So you know, team total looks pretty good there. But I would imagine if they score a bunch, Suzuki's just got so many assists and Matheson's getting points. Those two guys are heavily involved.
Yeah. Who would have lose Cole Caulfield, Nate? They seem to just get better. It's crazy. Definitely been feisty last couple of weeks. All
Yeah.
right. Devils Islanders. I wasn't loving a ton here, but I was okay with doing like a Devils same game parlay. There's nothing up yet, but I mean these same names have been really steady at a couple numbers lower. So that was what I was gonna do here. It's just not available yet.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are liking Hughes, which he's looked really good lately. Last few games, really shooting again, looking really solid. Um, saw was a little bit discounted again over on Barstool, and I always see that when I'm just like looking through on Picket. So that's real nice if you like going the straight play route. There's few guys that on DraftKings or FanDuel you might not want to play, but over on Barstool, I'm finding some nice prices. Hughes, I think, was one of them. Matheson, I mentioned last game, was another one. But yeah, I think he'll be a popular look today, and he's certainly over his last few games, he's looked really good. Definitely gotten it going for sure.
Yeah, I just wrote down based on a brief look that Hughes 3+, and then you like Bratt and Heischer down at 2, both look so safe. But I didn't hate Hughes up at 4, or even 5 if you're feeling frisky. And I mean Timo looks fine too. And even Dougie looked okay. I don't know. It's really just the usual guys for them. I don't know.
Well, yeah, so Hughes, like I said, is looking good. He's got 3 goals in his last 2 games, and I'm looking he's got 10 matchups against the Islanders since last season. He's got a goal in 6 of them. So, no, it's a tougher matchup overall with goals allowed from the Islanders, but some nice history there. He's definitely feeling it lately. So, nice to see that he's been capable of scoring against the Islanders before if you're liking Hughes.
Yeah, that's really all I'm interested in. I'm trying to put a little more thought into. I think we talked about this when I was pitching the Rangers money line last week, but we're almost in the playoffs, and I'm trying to find some examples of when games have that sort of playoff feel. I just don't know how to read into this. Who needs this game more? I mean, the Devils are 3 points back from Carolina for the top of the Metro Division. And Islanders got that first wild card, but just by a hair. And they've lost 2 straight games, so you got to think they're going to come out ready to rumble. That was just a winding sentence with no conclusion, but I mean, we only got 8-9 games here left for a lot of these teams, so something to start thinking about is look at the playoff table and see. I don't know, maybe throw a couple darts based on some incentive. I could certainly see the Islanders being a little more motivated here tonight at home to dictate the pace.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking, we're talking about the Islanders. Horvat's gotten pretty consistent again with his shots. He had 5 last time he faced the Devils. If you think they're going to push the pace, he's been shooting, doing pretty well. I just thought it was interesting. His last 3 games, he has 11 shot attempts, and all of them have been on net. That's pretty crazy. So if you're a person who
Wow.
likes to follow the volume, he had 2 games where he went 3 for 3, and then a game where he went 5 for 5. So, yeah, I'll take that as he's on fire right now. He's been hitting his shots a lot, or maybe there's some some regression coming in because that's 11 for 11 is pretty crazy. I mean, I how often do you bet a guy and you just watch as he gets blocked or misses so many attempts? So just keep that in mind about him. I just wanted to flag that is some insane efficiency. And the Devils lately, I think really for a bit now, it's been defensemen has been where they've been kind of weak, but um, yeah, this could be maybe some regression coming for Horvat. He's been hitting his shots a lot, and then not too much volume. So I just wanted to flag that one.
Does look pretty good down at 2, though.
Yep, for
Definitely
sure.
likes to hit 2. He did have 5 shots against New Jersey when he saw him with Vancouver. Huh. I don't know. Should be a good game, though. Let's keep it moving. We already gave Seattle, Minnesota a ton of attention. So let's skip past that one and go to Colorado and Anaheim. I don't know if you heard, but the Ducks let up a lot of shots and Colorado's pretty good. So you're welcome for that. I don't know. Usual cast of characters for me. Rantanen seemed to be my favorite personally.
Yeah.
Valerie's got some nice goal scoring history against the Ducks, and I've been betting on his goal a lot lately, and he finally scored yesterday. So maybe a little floodgates are opening for the guy. And I thought McCarr maybe down at 2 or 3 seemed like a fine inclusion. I don't know.
Yeah, you can look at McKinnon if you want. I'm starting just like what we were talking about before, just starting to think about if I'm gonna be doing the same game parlay. I That was just brutal yesterday, and I had a plus 2,600 or something, and that was the leg that lost was McKinnon, the most juice leg, and the guy you thought wouldn't let you down, and did the least for the odds. So, uh, maybe depending on what he's at, might not look at him, but Rantanen's been really good. Uh, Thought his minus 120 price for him to get 4 shots was very reasonable compared to other prices for you know guys who are on a hot shooting run. So that seemed pretty good against the Ducks. He's hit that in at least 4 straight against them. He's been just really good lately. So that was the guy I was looking at, especially price wise. Just a good look there. And if the alts or whatever alts you do, bumping him down certainly looks better too. But I like that 4 shots.
Yeah, this is one I'm going to do some kind of Colorado team total with something. Maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's Edmonton, maybe Florida, but I know we've talked about a lot, some of these obvious spots and people falling on their face. I just have a really, I know this is their 3rd game in 4 days, but Colorado's one point away from tying Minnesota at the top of the division. They've definitely come storming back since they were, kind of treading water there in the middle of the year. They know that they can dominate the Ducks, and I think they're going to. Get 4-5 goals off here tonight and jump Minnesota in the standings. Well, I guess Minnesota's playing too. So, but either way, I'm not seeing them taking their foot off the gas now. They're just ramping up. So I'm not worried about them laying an egg, basically.
Yeah, and they had a couple of these games against Arizona that are a little close for comfort, but Arizona seems to play them well. Um, so they could come out of that one, uh, out of those like that battle there, and have this soft opponent. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see McKinnon score. I needed him for a point yesterday, and didn't get a point from him either. So that was real rough. So I could definitely see him scoring in this one. But um, if you do want to look at all at the Ducks for whatever reason, uh, Troy Terry's been really consistent with his points. Um, real steady lately. Uh, pretty solid at home. 60% over his last 30 home games, 64% home on the season, and a couple in a row against Colorado. So that seems to be a guy who's pretty steady on the other side if you're looking that way.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Not a bad price, -134 for a point. He's got 7 of his last 10, couple multi-point games in there. So looks pretty decent if you like the over in this one, and if you do like the over and you don't want it to be all Colorado scoring and the Ducks get involved, that would be my look there, Terry.
But from a straight perspective, for people that maybe don't have access to FanDuel, I would say Mikko Rantanen seems like the best option here. -120 to go over 3.5, which he's done in 6 of his last 8 games. He's averaging 4.8 in his last 4 against the Ducks. He's gone over each time. He scored a decent chunk of goals against them as well, going back a couple seasons. I saw him even money on FanDuel to score, at least on their same game parlay. He might be even better down below. Definitely always check that. Let's see. No, he's better in that little same game parlay box, even money. He seems like the best option to me at his price and how he's been producing lately. So if you want a straight play, you don't overthink it. I say Rantanen's the guy.
He's at +100 for 4+.
For a goal, sorry.
Oh, that's my bad. That was I thought you were talking about shots for a second there. I was like,
No,
oh, that's a nice.
Still no alts up in that one for shots.
Yeah, he'll be like -500 for 4 shots or something silly like that. Even though his line is so reasonable, normal.
Yeah. So I like him. I like Valerie to score again. He's had some nice shooting efforts lately. And yeah, I'm going to skip McKinnon, so he'll probably have 10 shots and a hat trick.
That's just the hedge. That should be your hedge. Don't play anything reasonable at all. Just skip to parlaying the shots and like a hat trick. Just do something ridiculous. That's the hedge, because that's how it feels a lot. So many times. So many times, these guys, just the next game. So certainly after letting me down in every aspect yesterday, it's got a big one coming.
Oh, yeah. All right, last game, Edmonton, Arizona. I'm loving this game. This is another over. Last I checked, is set up at 7. I think it's for pretty great reason. And a lot of these recent games between these two has gone over 7. So I'm definitely debating that. You might think Edmonton's going to pour it on, and I do think they're going to score. But Arizona's offense has been awesome lately, especially at home.
Yeah,
they're averaging 3.8 they're averaging 3.8 goals per game at home. Edmonton's allowing 4.5 on the road, and I'm seeing a power play edge here for the Coyotes as well. So they're another like Montreal, that their team total down at 2.5 is extremely reasonable.
I think
kind of want their team total.
Yeah, what, -120, right?
Yeah, for 2.5. I thought that
including overtime.
Yeah,
if they give one of their random games where it's 2-2 at the end of the game, they have 10 shots on goal. Oilers have 65, and it goes into overtime. That still, you could still win it there. So that's not bad.
I mean, some of these guys' points props are awesome, plus money, and they've been great at home. This guy who's kind of come alive with shots, been pretty popular. Valimaki, is that how you say his name?
Could be.
Let's say yes. He recently, according to Left Wing Lock, got bumped up to the top power play. He's a defenseman. And even though he doesn't have a power play point,
Here we go.
At home, his last 5 games at home, he's got 8 points. And he's +152 for 1 point. As one like the highest producing defenseman right now for Arizona, and he's on that top power play. I don't know. That's a hard one to ignore. I know I said it, I'm trying to go more team totals, but that price has been staring me right in the face.
What about assist? Plus
Now see,
200.
yeah, if I do assist, he's scoring. I can't do that. But
No, points really good. That's a good look.
oh my God, he's plus 1,000 to score, and he scored a home game ago. Jesus Christ.
No, he's gonna be the one who gets like the power play point somehow. He's the was it Athanasiou that had 3 power play points in like 2 seasons
Oh, dude.
and then nailed it. What was it, plus 800 or something stupid?
He's got 15 shot attempts, his last 2 at home, and he's plus 1,000 to score. How am I not? How am I not? I
Oh,
gotta
this is
see it.
Michael Stone.
It's feeling like it a little bit. I had a dream about Michael Stone last night. Maybe it's a sign.
I
Let me
was just
see
gonna say, how do
how.
you not do this now?
Well, I want to see our buddy Shot Props. His website
Yeah.
is awesome. Let's see how. Oh man, and Edmonton lets up the 6th most goals defenseman this year. Oh wow. I don't. I mean,
Fine.
plus 1,000.
Just throw a tiny bit on it just so you can be happy.
Let's see. Where are those plus 1,000 odds coming from? FanDuel. This is. Yeah, I mean, okay. Maybe I do like a little on the goal and a little more on the point. So if one happens, I can still be a little happy.
Mm-hmm. At that
Plus
point, what was
1,000.
assist? Assist was plus 200. Might as well just split it between them both.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, he's not even down on the down on the drop downs. He's only in that same game parlay.
Okay.
Fine, I'll parlay him with Darnell Nurse goal.
Still reasonable.
Comes in at a cool plus 11,000.
If that happens.
Yeah. So Valimaki, it's definitely catching the eye. Let's talk about somebody else.
Yeah, no, that's a good one to flag anyway. His shots are nice volume at home. They finally bumped it up though. Little juice, still a reasonable price though. If you like that route. So he looks good. Looks good all around. Very good price on his point, like you said. I think we gotta bring up Keller. I
Yeah, he's
don't
been
see how you
awesome.
don't bring up Keller. This guy's going crazy right now. And if you were lucky enough to catch it, it was at minus 125 for his shots this morning on Barstool. That's
Damn.
gone now though. Um,
Bye.
so
Bye shots.
yeah, that's unfortunate. But the guy has 10 goals in his last 10 games. Had 2 goals last time he played Edmonton. Oh man, so many points. They finally bumped him up to 1.5 points though, so that sucks too. So that was a good parlay leg for a bit there. Him to get a point. I think actually on Barstool you can still use that though. The 1 point line, even if that's not his normal line. But man, this guy's on fire right now.
Yeah, he looks great. I did I put a quarter unit on Keller 3 shots in goal and McDavid 4 shots in goal. I mean, they just played. McDavid had 7 shots and 2 goals, and he just scores seemingly every single time he plays Arizona. And he usually scores. He usually scores twice.
Yeah.
And then Keller, yeah, 4 goals his last 4 against Edmonton, and some nice shot games in there too. So I did that. It might be showing up on the screen right now. I think it was like plus 560 or something. I just sprinkled a quarter unit on that. Seemed like a nice little combo for the late game.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly like Keller shots, and it's been leading to a lot of goals. So correlated play there. And McDavid, I mean, it's just been so steady, and it's just amazing looking at. I think what last 5 games against them, he has 9 goals. It's just silly. It's
And he's got 5 plus and 4 straight. I mean, alts are up. I wonder what his price is for 5. Probably pretty crappy if knowing how FanDuel's been. Yeah,
what's a
plus
4
108.
three?
Not bad.
What's like him at 4, Keller at 3?
That was I thought about doing that as well. That is, yeah, plus 114. Not bad at all. I mean, the
Isn't
odds.
wait, hasn't Draisaitl, sorry to cut you off. Hasn't he been shooting a bit more?
Yes, I did. Maybe we can show that on the screen now. I can't see it, but yeah, I did McDavid and Draisaitl and Keller
Yeah.
in a same game parlay. I did it also. I think I put in Nugent Hopkins and Evander Kane down at 2 as well. But yeah, I like all those guys look great to me. Seems like, yeah, I mean, Edmonton will obviously get their shots, but I think Arizona, and more specifically Keller, is going to find his as well.
Yeah, that I think a combo of those guys is good. That's a nice price for just the two guys, but I mean, Draisaitl's been shooting too.
Oh
There's
yeah,
a lot of guys who've been shooting. It always looks good to add um a few more legs with some of these percentages. Uh, but that's a real nice price for just McDavid and Keller right there. They've been really, really consistent. So getting plus money, not bad.
no, yeah, I thought, Darnell Nurse's point might be worth calling out. He's been very steady on the road, and I think he has a point in 4 straight against Arizona. Um, and yeah, I don't hate the over here as well. I know it's at 7. I wish it wasn't minus 110. Maybe I water it down and pair it with something, but I don't hate it up at 7, and I believe it's hit at least 7 in 4 straight meetings. And I like both sides for goals. Should be a fun late game. Maybe cook up a little goal parlay off some guys that look good to you. Seems like a good time to do something like that.
Yeah, if you're liking Keller, that would you can look over at Schmaltz too. He's been getting the assists on a lot of those goals. He's plus 120 for an assist. He had 2 last time against Edmonton. So I brought up maybe looking at assists a bit more. There's some guys who are just plus money and they've been dishing them out. Here's a guy plus 120. His points at minus 160. Before he had this little run with assists, he was scoring too. So that was that's the same game parlay I was liking. Him and Keller, but with Keller bumped up at 1.5, you might need to look elsewhere. But I just wanted to, bring him up. He's been really good at home too, so I could see him getting involved in this game.
Yeah, I agreed. I got to bet Val Mackey goal before this plus 1,000 goes away.
Yeah, that's worth.
So,
I mean, just to put a little bit on, there's some nice volume there, and the point and assist certainly looks real nice at home lately too. So that would be an awesome hit right there. That's like hey, I mean that's what we've done. You had Michael Stone last season. We had that Matheson. What was that? A few weeks ago, plus 700 defenseman goal.
yeah,
Maybe Val Mackey's the next one.
why not? Why not? I guess I should do a little on his assist as well, just in case. So I don't have to be unhappy if, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
plus
plus
200 for
200.
that.
So
So
still nice price. It's been that home volume's just nice to see lately. Looking really good. So he should get involved.
I did it. I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, let's transition to best bets here. Definitely touched on a lot. I wish I had more straights that I feel great about. Been very enamored with this same game parlay. Do you have any straights you're loving?
Based on uh I really liked that Keller price. It stinks that that's gone. Yeah, Matheson, if you're not liking to trust him at the 2.5 line, which I think looks pretty good. You could bump him down, but that was a nice price on Barstool for him. Um, Rantanen been rolling lately. Minus 120 seems like a fair price there for his shots. So I think there's a couple looks today, reasonable prices for shots who have been producing.
Yeah, I would say for me, uh, I definitely like definitely just expect a lot of goal. I like the Kachuk brothers parlay. Seems like a fun one to root on in a game that figures to be high scoring. I'm very interested in the Montreal down at 2.5 and Arizona down at 2.5. I
Yeah.
just think those prices are not indicative of what these teams have been doing lately. And it's kind of, just it's Arizona, give them a, I don't know, reasonable price. I think those are good looks. Rantanen seems like a good one straight. I'm gonna wait for alts to come up just to see what I can cook up there. And I don't know, I really like that McDavid Keller combo with the goals tacked on too, because I do think that's gonna be high scoring as well. And they just played and it delivered, so why not again?
Yeah, Keller's been awesome to watch. Just and betting on all his props. It's been working out. It's been one of the few things that I feel has been pretty steady lately. So it's big, big matchup going against McDavid, and with how hot he's been, you got to expect him to you know, want to do good in this game. And at home, the Coyotes are awesome. I like that 2.5 line for them.
And I think pick and play of the day. I think we've been doing pretty well just going safe here. So I'm thinking Val Mackey goal, pick and play of the day plus 1,000 on FanDuel.
I knew you were
Uh,
gonna do that. I thought we were gonna do the Kachuk Bros at plus 349 as the safe play, but I guess we're going safer. Just that.
just one outcome is always safer than two, no matter what. I don't
If
know. I
that would
mean,
just be that would be wild if with another long shot defenseman goal.
listen, all I'm saying is Arizona's been feisty. Val Mackey's been shooting 15 attempts his last two at home. He just scored against Chicago. And Edmonton, sixth most goals allowed to defensemen this year. Guys on the top power play. I think Arizona's going to score on the power play. Plus 1,000 never hurt anybody.
I don't think
I don't
so.
know. I don't know.
I don't
So
think
that's
it's
that.
anybody. I say we take a little stab at it.
I already did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
All
know
right.
you made that pretty clear. I'm just that's gonna be a fun one though. I think that there's a lot of fun matchups on this slate. So don't get carried away. Um, keep everything manageable. The same game parlays can get dangerous. So be smart with how much you're wagering in relation to your bankroll and everything. But yeah, hopefully we have some fun games today. Um, let's see if this plus 1,000 comes through. Val Mackey.
Yeah. Don't go crazy. Just a little bit, a couple bucks. All right. Well, hopefully we have a fun night. Thank you for joining. And we will be back here on Wednesday.
Yep.
So see you then.
See you guys.